Nothing to say, really. Just hang in there and listen, and we'll be to Asana real shortly. And then most of these guys wish they had this opportunity again when we get into Asana. They're like, man, I wish we were in the very beginning of class listening to her talk. So I'm going to, y'all know we're reading from Be Here Now, Ram Dass, Be Here Now, and we're reading about the witness. So I just thought I would go a little bit more back a little bit, and so that we remember what the witness is and what we're doing with this whole witness role thing and witnessing ourselves, because it's super difficult. But if you do it, it really does automatically change your attitude or change the moment that you're in. You realize something. And so it says each of these yous reflects an identification with a desire or a feeling or a thought. If, as we have seen, the work is to break these identifications, we can work effectively throughout each day by making each of these yous objects, i.e., by breaking the identification with each of them. This is not so easy. There is one technique which is known as adopting the role of the witness and holding on to that role, ultimately to the exclusion of all other roles. And then you know what happens after that? The exclusion of all other roles, and then you drop the witness. Then the appearance of the witness, after you start to practice this, it says after a time, however long is necessary, you notice that although you still lose the witness, he has in parentheses, fall asleep. That's when you lose the witness, when you say, I'm going to witness, and the second you say that, you've forgotten all about witnessing. Your irritant shows up, and you're irritated. There's no more witnessing. So this is the point that he's saying after a time, however long is necessary, you notice that although you still lose the witness, you fall asleep, as often as before, you are starting to remember sooner that you lost the witness. You see? So it doesn't take you past the situation, hours pass before you realize, I forgot to witness. You immediately say, I wasn't witnessing. And he says that is, you are getting to the point where the actual falling asleep is starting to wake you up. This is a big step forward. So even though you aren't holding on to the witness as long as you would like or as long as you think you should, all of this understanding and making the witness and making all of you objects, contemplation, thinking about these things brings or sheds a different light on who you are. Does that make sense? And you realize that all those yous really still isn't you. That's what you start to kind of come to that understanding that, none of those seem like me, especially if I can witness and come out of that role or lose the identification quickly with that role. Try getting really angry. Don't try it. Don't leave the room and go home and say, the teacher said try to get really angry and see what happens. Don't try it like that. But the next time that you're irritated with something or someone, see if you can witness and see what happens to the anger. It automatically brings these things back to you, not to the irritant, right? It brings the whole situation back to you. Again, after some time, it all gets much more subtle. Now you are walking down the street, and again you are witnessing it all. And again an irritant presents itself. This time, as you're about to get angry, the witness says, about to get angry, I see. This often short-circuits the energy the angry you was fueling up in you. And it is so true. I tried it. It worked. Yeah. And I can get easily irritated, so it works. And there is an angry you, a happy you, a sad you, all kinds of yous. The point is to not identify the true self, the real you, with those other yous. So that's really where it is. It says, so now the lapse between being awake and being asleep is getting much smaller. Simultaneously, you begin to note that you don't fall asleep, i.e. fall out of the witness, nearly as often. Throughout the day, you are remaining centered in the witness, watching the drama of life unfold. You also note that as you break identification with more and more of your roles and begin to live more calmly in the witness, that you begin to be aware of much more. You begin to see how the laws of the universe are manifesting in all aspects of nature. Outstandingly, those which you have so recently been involved with, such as your own body and personality. It's true. Now you are beginning to live on the casual plane. This experience of seeing how it is a very heady feeling. It must be witnessed to, or else you will get caught up in a new ego game of playing the eye of God while still being you. This is a sticky point for many intellectuals. They enjoy intellectual power so much that they cannot forego it by witnessing it. In order to go the final step in which they give up their separateness as an individual knower to dissolve in the sea of knowledge. And so I think that's it, and we'll continue on next week. About that. Remember, the witness is under karma yoga. So when you're practicing using this witness role, you're actually practicing karma yoga. And yoga is not just on the yoga mat, by the way. I say that all the time. That's one part of yoga. But it's definitely not the full, that's not yoga. Yoga is this practice of much more than just moving the physical body. But it's practicing contemplation, concentration, enlightenment, understanding of yourself, knowledge of who we really are. Now, the sutras say that we are ignorant. What makes us ignorant is that we don't know the true self. And so, therefore, we are ignorant. We don't know or we've forgotten or whatever, but that's what creates the ignorance, which is the sutras call it, and we've studied this before. It's a block for us. It's a block. It's a what does he call it? I can't remember the word that he used, but it holds us back from understanding, not knowing the true self. It holds us back. It's ignorance.
Because the true self is the source of understanding.
Yes. The true self is knowledge. It knows everything, yeah. There's truth, knowledge, true knowledge, truth. And since we don't understand that or we don't know that, therefore that makes us ignorant, and which causes us to not be able to move too much further than we are. Do you understand? So as we talk about the chakras and not living so much in the lower chakras, but trying to move to the heart and the chakras above, which have what? Love, understanding, you know what I mean? Oneness, not separateness, understanding that we are all the same. We're all the same. It doesn't matter where you come from or what you've done or where you're going. We are all same. There isn't any difference. And we're all having experience. It's not like you're having an experience here and I'm not. I'm just here. It's the same. We're doing the same exact thing. Interesting. Try that witness thing. I give you an assignment. Maybe try during class. And see if you can just witness yourself during practice. It won't last long, trust me. And you'll hear me in the background, I'm like, la, 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 so you can't witness too long. Maybe you can witness that too.
I'm thinking when you said witness, so here we are in a room. Clock is a witness without a light in any object.
Yes. Yes.
Want to become a person or somebody who has no emotion, so
yes.
As an effect of whatever behavior.
Because this Ram Dass in Be Here Now says that the witness does not judge. You can think of the witness as just like Mamta said, the clock, or you can think of the witness as an eye, like an eyeball that just sees, has no interest, is totally dispassionate about you and your event, but is simply witnessing. That's it. Not making any kind of calls, not judging in any kind of way. And as soon as you start to do that, especially if your emotions are heightened, somehow they go back to calm. I don't know why.
Is that the third eye? Have the significance of the third?
Well, no, he says it like just an eyeball, something that you, like Mamta said, the clock. It's an inanimate object, and it's there, and it is actually witnessing what is taking place in the room, but has no care or concern about the outcome or who it is or any of that, just simply witnessing. And it's hard to do. If you don't believe that, try it.
What brings to my mind is earlier I got that things that bother you, things that bother me, of course, but somebody said, but that is exactly my shortcoming. It's a thing that I see in you when you said something that is exactly the way I did it or do it or the habit that bothers me as you do.
Well, they say that when you are angry with someone, or when there's you feel some sort of wave there, or uncommon energy there, and it could be because this person is a lot like yourself. Or you see in this person some things that you see in yourself that you're not very fond of. And so that brings that up kind of in your face, and you would have to deal with that, or don't deal with the person, right? It's interesting, because the first thing I say is, I am nothing like that person. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's really hard to see things in yourself. It's easy to see things in other people, but it's not as easy to see those, and it could be those same things that you're seeing in other people, but it's really difficult because I get so irritated in traffic, and I'm honking and da-da-da-da-da, and someone's turning slow, but I do the exact same thing and it's okay. Do you know what I mean? So if I turn the corner really slow and cautiously, it's okay, but if the person in front of me does it, they're just a slowpoke that's in my way, and they need to move it. Why are you turning so slow in the first place? Do you know what I mean? So that happens to me all the time. And at the time that it's happening, I don't care. I still think they're a slowpoke, and they need to turn faster. Do you know? And when it's me, it's okay. I have a reason for turning so slow. And it's a good one, so whatever, you know. Do y'all have any questions about tonight's reading? Karma Yoga, remember that. So if you've been practicing this witness role, you've been actually practicing yoga throughout your day. You've been practicing yoga without coming to class and rolling out your yoga mat. but you've still been in sadhana, which is spiritual work, spiritual practice, which is part of yoga, sadhana.